We're going to get into the elements of partnering each other. Now that we've discussed posture and some body mechanics, we're going to discuss how it really comes into play when we're touching each other.
So the first thing we have to understand is, just like we discussed before in body mechanics, as we're here and we're extending our arms out, rotating them forward through the elbows. At this point, what I can do now as man is I'm going to take the right hand through the wrist and rotate it outwards. So this is rotating back, this is rotating forward, this is rotating back, allowing my hand to fit right underneath the lady and taking my palm as if I'm lifting the lady, placing her into my hand. Many of you can identify this as cradling, like cradling a baby. I wouldn't hold a baby like this or like this, but I want to think of just having enough space and enough tone to gently fit all the crevices from the head, the rear, and the legs of the baby.
And ladies, this is really the first opportunity when you're touching your partner to show that you're connecting, to establish a relationship with each other, whether it be socially or competitively. This is your opportunity to make an important connection on an emotional level. We create that emotional connection by doing something physically. When the man invites me to dance, the way I touch him, I stretch my fingers around his hand. From the base of my hand, which is right here, I mold to the contours of his hand, filling in even the gaps of his hand between his thumb and his index finger. As he invites me into frame with this hand, I wait for him to touch me, and now I'm going to use all of the parts of my arm, starting with my shoulder, my tricep, my elbow, my forearm, my wrist, and even my fingertips to completely connect to my partner so that there is no space between my arm and his arm. And whether we're creating a large frame farther apart from each other or a very intimate frame, I'm still required to connect to him completely using all of the parts, finishing with my fingers last.
Same thing for man. The closer we get, the more body contact we have to fill in. And at this point, what we need to realize as we're partnering is that the same thing we were talking about with our abdomen, we need to think of pulling that in and away. Once we do that, you will feel a tremendous amount of weight of the lady over her foot. It's positive energy as opposed to just pulling away with the upper body or pulling away with the lower body. I'm actually sending my abdomen in towards my spine, and then once I release, it's going to really allow her to feel that connection. And at this point, I have 2 points of connection. My forearm to my wrist, to my palm, to my wrist, to my hands, and my left wrist, palm, and fingers wrapped around there, giving me a nice, sturdy connection.
And ladies, it should really feel in this moment that you're giving the man positive energy, but that at the same time as you're giving him positive energy, you're connected to your own center. What I mean by that, when Felipe says take your center away, it should feel like you're going into a world of your own space while your weight is staying over the balls of your feet. So I'm doing 2 things, and they sound like they're contradictions, but they're one and the same. I'm taking my center in, which causes my weight to go forward in a positive way over the balls of my feet so he can feel my weight. Therefore, he can move my weight. Ladies, if you're too preoccupied with being light, the man will never know where you are. And it's very important for a leader to have weight to move. You can't lead if there's no weight.
Great. So now we're going to identify posture from a very extreme point to a very intimate point. So the first one being the furthest away. As we're here, we're extending that arm and we're still pulling our bodies away from one another. So as we walk, she's going to maintain her abdomen in that space, making it very easy to walk from one leg to the other and identify when I might change direction or when I might try to trick her to do something out of the ordinary. The same thing is true as we come closer in a more intimate hold. We're still thinking of pulling our bodies away from one another through our abdomen. And even in a most extreme and intimate hold, we're still thinking the same philosophy as I'm placing my body around hers, taking my arm fully around her body, and at this point, I'm pulling my body away from my partner. And as she's doing it, that really allows her to fill in the space. So you really feel that you have this connection in between both hands, and she's allowed to move from one foot to the other and still feel like she has space. Making it very easy to lead from one leg to the other. If we don't, and we just go into this awkward position, we're both going to lean on one another, and it's going to look not what it seems. The eyes lie.
Well, the goal of this DVD is to create speed, balance, and control over your body and not look like you're dancing at your prom.
Yeah? So the illusion of dancing very close is just me standing over my feet and taking my body weight in towards my spine. Once again, I'm wrapping my abdomen towards my spine, making sure that my base and everything is very solid. My ribs are lifted, and that we have enough space to move from one leg to the other. Even in the most intimate hold, making it very easy and functional, and very rhythmical at the same time. So she can feel whatever it is I'm doing and respond without her affecting me or me affecting her. Because if we try to do it through any other part, it's going to feel forced, as if you're imposing something upon your partner, physical, all negative connotations, which aren't very positive in the end.
Ultimately, it will affect your balance, which makes you uncomfortable. Instead of enjoying your dancing, you're going to be fighting to survive it.
Whether it be a pose, whether it be a basic, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're going from one foot to the other, all I'm trying to do is achieve maximum length through my posture. So I can go from one foot to the other, as opposed to what many of you do is you try to go for the line, and then you physically bring your partner out of it. Same thing for the ladies. Many of you try to attack your line, pulling the man off of his leg.
And what Felipe really is talking about is an equal distribution of weight between our bodies. So when Felipe goes away, I can't go toward him. I'm actually going to do the equal and opposite. So if he's going away from me, I'm going to go away from him. And if he keeps going away, I'm going to keep going away until I feel him stop, or until I feel his direction change. And now he's coming toward me. I'm going to keep going toward him until I feel his direction change. And this is forever continuing in all of our actions. So our actions really never stop. He's just constantly changing the play with the weight.
Ladies, make sure that at the end you drop your weight and you're sending your weight always towards your hand. It's not a physical action. The man just wants to feel your weight in order to move you from one leg to the other and to allow you to play and feel whatever it is that you want to try to do to create something organic, easy, and fluid. The next point we're going to try to make is a visual lead or visual partnering. As we're here and we're applying these theories of being balanced, me, as man, at this point, I'm going to choose what leg I'm on. As I do that, the lady's going to respond and mirror. Now she has her eyes, and her eyes can see my body. This really allows her to understand that partnering is much more than just connecting through the hands, but it's also a visual lead. You can use that. And man, this makes you understand how clear you must be and how committed you must be to being over one leg and being very clear with each and every single movement, so the lady can identify what foot you're on and follow visually. If it's confusing and you're sending mixed signals, the lady is going to be distracted or going off into her own world. I'll demonstrate that now. She's going to guess and not really understand what leg I'm on.
And that's happening because he's guessing, because he's uncommitted. So even if you know just simple steps and you're committed to those steps, it's more valuable socially when you just stick to what you know. And you're able to communicate that in a very clear and authentic way. The dancing becomes enjoyable not because of the quantity of steps that you're demonstrating, but because of the commitment and the quality that you're executing.
So now we're going to take a simple basic with a visual lead. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Visual lead. Very easy to follow if you're truly balanced from one foot to the other. But if you're too busy assuming, oh, I have to go side, oh, I have to go side, I have to go back, then it's going to be confusing. It's confusing for you as a performer, or you socially dancing, or you as a competitor out there on the floor. So the judge that's watching you is not understanding what you're doing. If it's very clear and you're always transferring your weight from one foot to the other, it becomes easy for you to be marked well, or for people to look at you aesthetically and say, wow, they actually know what they're doing. They look so fluid, so organic, so natural, all positive words. And that's what we all strive to achieve.
And it doesn't have to be on the competitive dance floor. Just you enjoying your movements and being able to send clear messages make the crowd enjoy you.